this Wednesday morning, June 4th. Thanks for joining us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Abby Fridman.
And I'm Dan Schrack. We have a jam-packed 2-hour show to get through, so let's run down what we have brewing for you this morning.
All right, get ready for some surprising moves and unforgettable grooves. This morning, we're giving you a sneak peek at this year's Dancing with the ARC event. We'll introduce you to some of the participants and share how this fun-filled fundraiser is making a huge impact.
And then later on, we are taking you inside some of Rochester's most remarkable homes for the upcoming Landmark Society's House and Garden Tour this weekend. We're going to be joined by the program director with a special look.
And then we're talking more about the country that's trying to put a stop to one specific flight habit. We're going to talk about it coming up in this morning's Trending Now.
But before all of that, we want to get a check of some of our top local headlines. Stephanie Joseph now with your Wednesday morning news break.
Well, good morning there, guys. We begin with Rochester policing. The search for a 5-year-old boy who fell into the Genesee River is now a recovery effort. Zy St. Pierre was walking with his mother on Sunday afternoon when police say he climbed on the railing of the Andrew Street Bridge and fell into the river. Authorities launched an extensive and ongoing search for the boy since then. A part of that effort, using a scuba team and working with RG&E to reduce water flow from the Court Street and Mount Morris dams. But visibility remains a challenge. Police are asking boaters, fishermen, and anyone north of downtown to keep an eye out as their search continues. And the bridge has become the site of heartbreak, but also hope. Last night, dozens gathering there to stand with the family of Zy St. Pierre. Now, one juvenile is recovering, and an 18-year-old is facing charges after a violent robbery in the city's Edgerton neighborhood. Rochester police say it all started just before 9:30 last night. Investigators say a juvenile was walking near Lake Avenue and Spencer Street when a vehicle pulled up and the occupants forced him inside. The victim was allegedly punched and his phone stolen before being pushed out of the car. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. About 20 minutes later, officers spotted the suspect vehicle near West Main and King Streets. The driver refused to pull over, leading police on a chase that ended on South Plymouth Avenue. During the chase, several officers were minorly injured when 2 RPD cruisers crashed. Investigators say the Kia Forte was reported stolen out of Brighton, though it's unclear if the 18-year-old driver was involved in that theft. New this morning, New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has launched a new state political action committee, fueling speculation of a gubernatorial run next year. It comes after her team reportedly commissioned internal polling against incumbent Governor Kathy Hochul. However, the North Country Republican has not officially launched a campaign. One person was hospitalized after a scary crash in Rochester's South Wedge neighborhood. It happened just after 5 near Alexander Street and South Avenue. Police say a 35-year-old man lost control of his car, slamming into a sign, then a tree. Investigators believe he may have swerved to avoid an oncoming vehicle. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No tickets were issued. State police have identified the motorcyclist killed in a crash in Greece. It happened Monday evening on the Lake Ontario State Parkway near Long Pond Road. Troopers say 79-year-old James Gleason of Hilton hit a deer and later died from his injuries at the hospital. The crash remains under investigation. In Ogden, town leaders are demanding action to reopen a bridge that's been closed for 500 days. The Gillette Road Bridge, which shut down in December 2023 over structural concerns, crosses a CSX rail line and is now being called a critical threat to public safety. Local officials have sent a formal letter to CSX asking for a timeline on repairs and reopening. The repairs are estimated to cost more than $5 million. CSX releasing a statement to 13 WAM saying in part, "We appreciate the public's patience as we continue to be actively engaged in constructive conversations with local, county, and federal officials on the future of the Gillette Road Bridge." For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thank you. Let's switch gears now and get a look at our Wednesday forecast. We are looking at some summer-like temperatures. If you liked yesterday, we're going to have more of the same today.
We certainly are. More of the same, only better.
Yep.
Elevated, if you will. Marty Snyder at the Weather Center this morning. We are talking about heat, we're talking about humidity, and we're talking about haze, Marty.
Yeah, still that haziness out there, and still a lot of sunshine working through that haziness. And that's really going to help to push these numbers along pretty well. You can see that thin cloud cover and haziness that still are out there to a certain extent, but 68 right now. Breeze coming in out of the southwest, so that's going to continue to pull in some of this warmer air. The dew point, that's only in the lower 50s now, but already it is beginning that upward trend. And that'll continue to rise up pretty well throughout the day today, so that's going to help to at least make it feel a little more humid for this afternoon relative to what we experienced yesterday. 83 by noon. We'll be in the upper 80s for highs today. A couple places south of town could nudge that 90-degree mark going through the afternoon. So again, just a really hot afternoon compared to what we have been seeing. Haven't been quite this hot yet this season, especially with the humidity included there as well. Down to about 67 tonight, so very warm night for this time of year, about 13 degrees above average there. About 80 tomorrow, so numerically we drop back a little bit, but still a warm day. Chances there for a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow, but I think a good portion of tomorrow stays dry. Risk of rain comes up a little more into Friday, 74 then, and then mostly in the 70s into the first half of next week. So not the cold weather that we have been seeing recently. It's going to be pretty hot today, and then we pull back a little bit, but still stay at or slightly above average for quite a few of these upcoming days for many of those temperatures, even into early next week as well.
I'm excited.
I know, me too.
I got a little shoulder dance going on over here because 88 degrees. Ooh, it's going to be
What
nice.
I saw out of the corner of my eye?
Yep.
Yes, it is. It is. All right, thank you, Marty. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, let's go off the top and talk about some of the things out there that have piqued our interest this morning. I'm going to start things off. So a startup once valued at more than $1 billion with a backing from Microsoft has just been exposed as something straight out of the Wizard of Oz. Nothing more than a man behind a curtain. Builder AI promised clients it would be working with cutting-edge artificial intelligence called Natasha, a sleek, all-knowing AI assistant that could help build the next Uber, Airbnb, Shopify, all with the ease of a simple prompt. But as it turns out, Natasha wasn't AI. She wasn't even software. She was 700 engineers in India, all pretending to be a chatbot. Yeah. Instead of automation, it was nothing more than coordination with actual human beings behind the screen, carefully inserting typing delays to make it seem like Natasha was thinking. The company allegedly inflated revenue, misled investors, and pulled in more than $30 million in fake contracts. Well, now it's bankrupt and facing lawsuits from employees who say they were pressured to lie about what the tech could do. So it turns out the billion-dollar unicorn Builder AI was nothing more than customer service cosplay. Less machine learning and more method acting.
That is wild.
Can you believe that?
I mean, I can and I can't. You know, it's like,
I can't type fast enough or with no errors to make it seem like I could pretend to even want to be AI.
Yeah, that's true.
It would be garbly-gook that you would receive on the back end or on the receiving end, my response, you know? Even my working on that would have typos.
It's so crazy that nobody realized it until now.
Yeah.
You know, it went on for so long with everybody thinking that this was artificial intelligence, and all of a sudden it comes to light that it's not. It's, you know, like, you've been punked.
Really, you've been punked. And I mean, you think about some of the investors that, you know, likely lost a lot of money in this. But the chief executives, like, did they think they wouldn't get caught?
Probably.
You really
they thought
think
that everybody would just be okay with it. They'd just be like, oh. Or maybe they were like trying to develop the right AI technology and they were like, all right, let's just do this in the meantime. Nobody tell. And we're going to try to figure it out on our own.
But if you've got all 700 employees pretending to be the AI, and no one actually working on building the AI, then it's like a vicious cycle.
This is true.
And when you get improvements, what are the improvements? We hired more staff so we can have more hands typing?
Well, now they've got nothing.
Or is it? I might succeed if I were doing like talk to text. I'd have to ask for a headset.
The
to
way
respond.
that you talk to text is so aggressive. It is like you're sitting there yelling at your phone.
I did today. You
was
saw it
wild.
in real
Yeah,
time.
That was crazy. All right, we got to move along now to Mind Something to boost your mood this Wednesday morning. The Denali National Park has a very special live stream that is up and running, and it's got puppies. Not just any puppies, though. These are the future sled dogs used for mushing. Of course, it's that long-standing tradition that goes back generations in Alaska. Check out these guys. Oh. They were born just about a month ago, and they have started exploring the world around them. They are ridiculously cute. They've got little tiny legs, sleepy eyes, and fluffy bodies. Everything that you love about puppies, and you get to watch it on a live stream. The litter every year has a theme when it comes to the name, and this year it's weather themed. Officials with the park say the dogs will be named after the different ways that water influences our weather. This is a live picture right now of it, and you don't see any dogs because they are sleeping, because they need a lot of sleep. But feeding time is 11:45 and 16:45, so I guess if you take that into account when it comes to Alaska time, you could check that out. So getting back to the names of the dogs, 2 of the pups that are women, females, are named Squall and Storm. The other 3 are males named Grapple, Dew, and Fog.
Ooh.
There you go. If you're unfamiliar with these dogs, they are raised to work in snowy backcountry areas of Denali, where the rangers rely on sled dog teams to patrol the wilderness. It is the only national park in the country where dogs are used like this, and it's honestly pretty effective. The dogs are able to reach parts of the woods and mountains that snowmobiles and small planes can't reach. It's been a part of life in Alaska for thousands of years. Indigenous people used dogs for travel long before technology arrived. Also, I've talked about it before, but the dogs are used in iconic races like the Iditarod. The park says they put a lot of thought and effort into picking the dogs that will be bred for this. They look for traits like if the dogs like to run, if they are good working with teams, and it's also if they have some strong social skills, because they're kind of like local celebrities. They get a lot of attention when people go visit the kennels.
People asking for autographs.
There you go. Exactly. So the puppy cam is just kind of a bonus, something for our entertainment. If you can't get all the way to Alaska to check them out firsthand, it's a great way to get a little preview. The live stream is up. It's over on the Denali website, YouTube channel, and they aren't there all the time, like we just saw a couple minutes ago, because they do need a lot of sleep. And feeding time is when they come out, and it is certainly worth the wait.
I like the names, and it's funny. One of the dogs' names is Storm.
Yeah.
I know a Storm. That is her name.
Oh.
Storm Cooley. And then I got thinking, I also know a Sunny.
Oh, okay.
And I also know a Rainy.
Wow.
Rainy's last name, Fields. Rainy Fields.
That is wild.
Honest to God, she's not a meteorologist. Should have been, but isn't.
That's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is that, though?
I think that's great. Listen, I love a live stream of some animals.
Yeah.
Especially when it's puppies.
Exactly.
Always getting into trouble, wreaking havoc.
Just like we are.
Yes.
8:13. Much more to get to this morning on Arc Rochester. When we come back, we're checking in with Chris Lopez. What's he doing?
He is down on the farm this morning. Don't forget, you can watch us on the go wherever you are. We are streaming live right now on the 13WAM YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. Stick around. Arc Rochester returns after this. Today, Post Farms in Oakfield will be transformed into a hands-on classroom for children.
Yeah, the annual Kinderfarmin event is happening there. The event teaches kids where their food comes from. Chris Lopez is live there this morning for us, battling through his allergies and teaching us some really interesting things along the way, too. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? We are standing in what should be a cornfield right now. It's not looking all that great right now, so we are talking a little bit about the weather. I'm joined by Emmeline, I am joined by Lockwood, and I am joined by Daniel. And this field should be looking a little bit different.
Should be looking a lot different right now. Just like all of you at home have probably been dealing with cool, wet weather and rain constantly canceling your plans, farmers have been dealing with the same thing every day. We rely on beautiful days like today to get the work done that we need to do. This field that we're in today should be planted to corn by now and should be several inches tall. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot going on. There hasn't been any field work done in this particular field yet this year.
And this is pretty much all around the state. If you're going to drive through the farmland, you're going to see just fields just like this where it's not full-grown crops. You're seeing a lot of dirt.
Absolutely. Compared to other regions in our country right now, the Northeast has been very cold and very wet, and farmers are way behind in their planting.
Lockwood, Daniel, you guys are on a farm. You guys grow up. You guys own a farm. Not you two specifically. Your mom and your dad own the farm. What's it looking like out there on the fields?
At the moment, we have our tractors ready, we have everything ready, but we can't plant in the ground because at our house area, we just had rain a couple of days ago. So it's all wet, all muddy, there's no plants in the ground yet. But we're hoping, like today, if Mom was at home, we would all be planting.
And what would your day look like, Daniel? If you had a ton of crops in the ground, what would the day look like? I know they put you to work.
Ton of crops. Well, we would be on the combine mid-morning on trucks flying down the road full of chopped crops, just flying down the road, heading to field as much as we can each day.
So the weather's just really killing everyone's plans, essentially. When's the last time something like this has happened?
As far as I've heard, this is one of the coldest and wettest Mays and then going into Junes in decades. So it's been a while since we've had to deal with this, but farmers are used to dealing with uncertainty. That's part of the name of the game in agriculture. So they find their ways to work around it. The fields behind my house were being planted past 9 o'clock last night because they had the ideal weather to get it done. So working long hours right now to get everything in the ground on time.
And here at Kinderfarmin, while you guys aren't directly telling kids about the weather, there's not really a tent set up for that. You guys are teaching them about nutrition, right? And the weather has something to play with that when it comes to growing hay. How do you guys go about doing that, teaching those kids that?
Sure. So right now, farms across the state are working on doing first cutting hay. This is one of the most important cuttings for both nutrition and yield for cows. And just like nutrition is very important for us as humans, nutrition is very important for the cows. So it's important to get that first cutting hay off in the right amount of time. So that we have the best nutrition, and the weather has been messing with that first cutting hay as well as planting.
Lockwood and Daniel, kids are kind of showing up now to help work on this, the Kinderfarmin, to set up the stations. The kindergartners are going to be here maybe about 9 o'clock, 9:15. What do you want those kindergartners to learn from this? If they could take one thing away from today.
One thing is how the food gets there, how they get full every day, how they see what they see in the fields, how they know that we work hard so they can eat, so we can have a full stomach.
Daniel, you have anything to add on to that?
I couldn't say it better myself.
Okay. All right, I'm going to send it back. Actually, Lockwood, send it back to Dan and Abby. It's Dan and Abby.
Back to you, Dan and Abby.
Come on. Like, are
Lockwood,
you kidding me?
This kid is a rock star.
An icon, a legend.
Yes.
We're hiring, buddy, if you want to come work here.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly think he should come and help with the from the ground up segments.
Oh, I think you're right.
I do.
We do need
I
some
think
help
that
there.
could be a great partnership.
Hit us up, Lockwood.
Yeah.
You know where we're at.
Stick around. When we come back this morning, weather trivia.
Yeah, speaking of the guy, Mark McLean will be here after this. Welcome back. Mark is here giving us a look at the warm temperatures we're going to have today and our weather trivia, too.
Yeah, fun stuff. So this is the warmest day of the year so far, right? I mean, a temperature is going to be near 90 degrees by this afternoon. For some spots in the Genesee Valley, it may actually get to 90 degrees. So there's that chance. So let's take some trivia and base it off of that. We'll talk about 90s. Drum roll, please, right? There it is. Today's high temperature will come close to 90 for some areas. How many days of 90-degree heat does Rochester get a year on average? And you may already know this because I do mention this occasionally.
I think you mentioned it the other day.
It's possible. It's possible. But the choices are 5 days, 7 days, 9 days, and 12 days a year.
Done.
You already know?
Yep.
I think I've got it, too.
We would actually have a lot more days of 90-degree warmth if we didn't have the Great Lakes around us. It would be more like a Minnesota, Wisconsin kind of climate here. Some of those spots can actually get into the 110s. Some of those state records are much higher, whereas our records are obviously much lower because of the governing effect of the cool water of the Great Lakes. It really puts a lid on how hot some of these afternoons can get. But that's the weather trivia. We're going to have the answer at 9 o'clock. We'll talk about the warmth in the forecast. Hey, check it out, that haze. We've got a cool picture coming up from last night. Maybe you saw the sunset last evening. Very beautiful sunset. 68 degrees. The AQI, the air quality index, is now in the low end of the moderate category. So if you have asthma, if you suffer from respiratory ailments, you may be noticing it a little bit of a wheeze, a little bit harder to breathe today. Just slow it down a little bit compared to some of the other days. Not at a level that's even close to where it was 2 summers ago, but it is at a level where it is considered, quote, moderate, whereas yesterday we were at a, quote, good level. Southwest at 13, that's going to push that dew point number up. The dew point's 52, and this is the first afternoon when you walk out, you're going to feel it.
Yes.
You're going to feel that atmospheric moisture content.
Okay, am I crazy? I feel like
That was a fast answer.
like I experienced that yesterday.
The dew point was in the 40s during the evening, but if you were doing anything strenuous, you start to notice it when the air temperature's in the 80s. I mean, I went for a walk in the afternoon, and you know, you get in the middle of the walk, and I was sweating.
I mean, I carried a lot of food from Chipotle to the car yesterday.
That's the 3rd time in a week, Daniel.
It's a lot.
I'm not judging.
I know.
I
know.
All right.
But they could sponsor the show.
Honestly, they're big viewers of the show.
Yep.
Over there at.
I think it's the salt and the chips.
Oh,
but
gosh, yes,
watch the dew point. Watch the dew point here. Tomorrow, before that cold front goes through, we'll actually see, probably for the first time this year, the chance of getting those dew points in the 70s. Look at that, just south of Rochester there, Canandaigua at 69. So 2 things every storm needs is moisture content and heat, and we'll have some of that. This was last night. This is Larry Teddemore. He's a photographer down in Avon. Sent me this picture last evening as the sun was setting. It stretched a little bit because of the format. The original is on Facebook if you want to see it. But it just reminded me of 2 years ago. You know, the sunrise yesterday. I got a picture of the sunrise. I put that up on Facebook. And, you know, the iPhone can't really resolve it. It makes it look like the weird, like, reddish circle. But it's because of the air quality. And right now, and the forecast for this afternoon is going to keep us at that moderate level. So nothing extreme, as mentioned. Now, the actual weather, high pressure is still in control. And that means a lot of hazy sunshine today, that front back to the west. It starts to move towards us. I think it's going to be sometime in the afternoon tomorrow. The morning looks dry for your drive in. By the afternoon, notice the pop-up showers and thunder. If you're watching us from the Finger Lakes, that's probably the best chance of seeing a thunder shower. If we do see one, that's where the instability is a little higher west of Rochester. I think many areas are actually going to stay dry. It's kind of a wimpy cold front if you want to look at it that way for this time of the year. Planning forecast today says it's AC weather. It's pool weather. You're going to be in at upper 80s to near 90. If we do get to 90, it would be the first time so far this season. 80 degrees for Thursday, 74 on Friday with passing showers and thunder. It looks like a morning chance on Saturday, then drying out. A little sunshine around on Sunday and some occasional showers and thunder Monday. But you know, you look at the overnights, temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. I got most of the tropical plants out last night.
Oh.
I did not get the tree out. That's tonight. The reason, I have to repot it. I just can't. It's so pot bound. I've got this gigantic aloe plant
Don't
too.
you want to do it outside though?
I will. That's why I got late and I didn't have the time to do it. It was getting dark outside. So almost all the plants are out. I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
I'm sure that thing is too. How do you repot that?
So
Do you need like a forklift?
It's very dry. So the root ball on it is very dry right now. So when the soil is dry, it kind of contracts a little bit. So it'll be easy to get out of the pot. If I had tried it in the fall or something, there's no way. Because it's swollen.
How many people does it take to do it now?
I'll move it. Right? Yeah.
No, to repot it.
Just
you?
me. Yeah. I'll lift it up, and you can set it on its side too. You can lean it up against something to take it out. But
that's impressive.
Hoping that thing's in my front yard someday somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere warm, sunny.
Right.
Someday.
Yeah, that'd
Someday.
be nice.
Okay, total off topic.
Yeah.
Do we smell ramen?
Yes, I do. It's driving me nuts.
Where is it?
Anne?
Who's cooking in the building? It smells delightful.
Reminds me of college.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
like
thinking.
a college
I
dorm
can
at 6
smell
o'clock
the
on a
salt.
Wednesday. There we are.
I'm sitting here and I noticed I'm doing like the dog thing.
I'm still not over the Chipotle comments. I'm thinking, what am I doing for lunch today? Right?
Oh
Jeez.
man, we're all hungry today.
Food motivated, for sure, just like a Labrador.
If any of our bosses are watching right now from the comfort of their home,
or the front office,
or the front office,
perhaps a vacation.
Yeah, maybe swing by somewhere, grab us something, bring it by.
Wouldn't be mad.
Salt bagel would be delightful right now.
Greatly appreciated.
Just a thought.
Just a thought. All right, McLean.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you go.
More trouble ahead.
Investigate where the
who has
smell
the
is
ramen.
coming from.
The ramen?
Yeah. I would put money on the fact that it's ramen noodles.
Right?
That's got to be it.
It is.
I'll go get my backup in the forecast center.
And I think
he's got guns. We'll figure this out.
I think it's the instant microwave ramen.
I think you're right.
Like cup of noodles.
Yep.
Ramen.
It is.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Chills.
Hey, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to find out the results of who's cooking the ramen in the building.
We're back after this.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. We want to take you into the kitchen this morning for this week's We've Got the Funk. Huh! Spatchcock Funk.
Okay.
Huh!
This morning they are showing us their take on a comfort food classic.
Ramen?
Take a look.
Hope your antennas are up and pay attention. Today, we're making shrimp and grits. Spatchcock funk here with a new take or a classic take on a classic dish. So every place, we gotta thank our Southern brothers and sisters who invented this dish, but it's served in every city in the United States, internationally. Where we're from in Syracuse, there's a couple great takes on it. Mellow Vello has a good one. Possibilities, Oh My Darling, they all bring it pretty hard. So this is our version of it. And the first thing we do is we start with the grits. So we've made some grits, but unlike other places, our grits, instead of using water and milk and butter, we use the milk and butter and salt, but we use shrimp stock. Then we add about 8 ounces, a half pound of the sharpest cheddar. Let's cut myself on it. The sharpest cheddar we can find, all right? We mix that in there. And then for a creaminess to it too, in addition to the milk, some people will use heavy cream and that's cool, but we use mascarpone cheese because you get a little bit more flavor to it and we get some whiteness and a brightness to the white color of the grits. Because then when we put our awesome shrimp on top, it starts to look real. Once we've got the creamy, cheesy goodness of your grits, set it aside. And now we're gonna cook the shrimp. It's gonna cook fast. Now we are using shrimp with their heads and tails on. We took the shells off. We got this recipe from one of our culinary heroes, Ralph Brennan in NOLA. And you leave the heads and the tails on because it allows to create more flavor in the pan itself as we're cooking. Once you've got a half stick of butter in your pan, layer your shrimp in one layer, heads on. Try to face them all in the same direction so it'll be easier for you to flip. Once they're in your pan, they're starting to cook. Be a little generous with some cracked black pepper. Then add the other half stick of your unsalted butter. While you're looking at your first side, right, they're gonna start to get pink. 2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce. A teaspoon of fresh minced garlic. Half to a full teaspoon of Creole seasoning. Then we're gonna squeeze in the juice of 1 whole lemon. The shell will start to turn a nice red, pinkish color. We want that shell to look pink, like it's a little baby lobster. We got our shrimp ready. We're gonna take these awesome creamy grits, cheesy, mascarpone, extra sharp, just like this recipe. For this one, we're gonna put 2 of these beauties on this little tray. And then we're gonna take some of this delicious sauce we got and we are going to ladle that over the whole thing. And then we are adding, just for some color, make things exciting, some green onions. Now with the head on the shrimp, right, you just take your fork and you pop the tail out and you pop the tail off. And what we like is a piece of the shrimp, a piece of the grits, a little green onion on there. Get this perfect bite. You know what, the other day, I saw the lights of the Goodyear blimp and it said, I love spatchcock shrimp.
What? We've got a lot more to come here on Arc Rochester. Maybe it will make sense. Chris Lopez is farmhand this Wednesday morning.
Don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live on the 13 WHAM YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back after this. Welcome back. Spring is in full swing, and with it comes Genesee County's Farm Bureau's annual event known as Kinderfarmin.
The name is great.
It is.
Kinderfarmin.
Yeah.
It's going to show kindergartners what goes into making dairy products like milk, cheese, butter, yogurt, you name it. Chris Lopez is live at Post Farms in Oakfield this morning, learning more about this event from the teacher himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Lockwood, not a kindergartner, 6th grader, though you are not a kindergartner this morning. Lockwood, 20 stations total. Kids are about to arrive. You think they're excited?
I hope they are. They gotta miss school.
Yeah, you
and learn about cows.
This is kind of like school, though, right? It's educational.
It's a better
fun.
school.
It's a better school. You'd take this one over any type of math or something like that?
Anything.
You liked math, though.
Yeah, not social studies.
No? Okay. Let's go talk to our, they're waiting for us right now. We have Jared and Scott here waiting for me in Lockwood. I want to start out with you, Jared. You have a station here. What do you look to teach these kids? There's about 20 stations total, but yours is pretty important. It has to do with soil.
Yeah, so our station today is talking about soil health, and we really promote good soil health practices, no-till, cover crop, some of our best management practices. The goal of soil health is really to, not so much in your average years, but in your bad years to
Like
mitigate
this.
your losses like we've had this year.
Yeah.
This cool wet weather, a more resilient soil, you're hopefully going to have better crops than you would if you had bad soil health.
Did
So
you-
that's what we're going to talk about today.
Did you have something, Scott, feel free to jump in on this. Did you guys have something like this when you were a kid?
Oh, Kinderfarmin? I mean, growing up, I remember as a little kid, even before I was in school, our family farm used to host schools that would come in and tour the farm. And that's why this event is such a great event to volunteer at. It's an opportunity for the students from around the county, and I know other counties and other areas.
10 districts, I think.
Yeah, all get the chance to visit a farm. A lot of these kids have never been on a farm, let alone seen a cow. And it's a way for us to share with them everything that goes on in the dairy operation. So when these kids and their families go to a grocery store to buy milk, cheese, yogurt, all the great products that come from this industry, they have an understanding what we put into it, our heart and soul.
Is there something that you grew up on a farm, but it's not taught in the books, it may not even be taught today, that you would want kids to learn? Something maybe intangible or something that's not in the books?
It's all about dedication.
Okay.
And, I mean, we love what we do. We can't control the factors like the weather this year. It's something that's way out of control, but we still have to every day keep doing what we do, whether it's get up in the morning and fight the rain or work all night long because we got nice weather like today. So it's pure dedication and heart and a love for the industry.
And we were talking about soil and the lack of growth really in the last segment. Is there anything you would like to add on to that? We were essentially just saying that the fields are barren right now.
Yeah, so this cold, wet weather is really bad for germination, so you're not seeing a lot of growth here. We're hoping we get this weather to turn, but as Scott said, this isn't just a business, this isn't a factory. You know, at the end of the day, it's food production that's supporting local economy, but it's also supporting the people that get to work other jobs because they're not spending their time growing their own food.
Lockwood, I want to go to you. Do you have any questions to ask them? You want to be a farm news reporter, right? You were wanting to interview the cows. We can't do that in this segment. We have humans here to talk back to us. This works? You want to ask either one of them a question?
How much do you go around and see other farms?
So we work with all the farms in the county, so we're on different farms every day, and we work with 50 to 60 farms in any given year on different best management practices.
That's a ton of farm. They are about to start probably in about 9 o'clock here at Kinderfarmin. It starts with a tour. The kids are going to come through probably in what? I would say 20 minutes. It's almost, 15 minutes. So probably at about 9:30, we're going to get to talk to some of those kindergartners and see what they're learning coming up here on ARC Rochester. I'm going to send it back to Dan and Abby.
Back to you, Dan and Abby.
Obsessed.
I mean, he's got like a head nod and
I
a
know.
point.
Swag.
And then the hand goes on the hip.
I know.
Kid knows what he's doing.
He's got it all.
Hire him. Chris, get him an application.
Yeah.
He can start tomorrow. Fill in when we feel like taking the day off.
Take today off. When we come back, we're getting a special look at an upcoming fundraiser that is featuring some of Rochester's biggest names.
We're back right after this. Dancing shoes ready. The Arc of Monroe is calling on some of its best performers and partnering them up with some iconic names for one of its largest fundraisers of the year, and that is Dancing with the Arc.
Yeah, the yearly event shines a light on all of the amazing work that the organization does in a fun and entertaining way. Here to talk about the event is dancer Devon Weinert and Director of Events and Engagement, Tyler Landrys. Good morning to you both. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you.
You guys must be getting excited. This is like the biggest event of the year, right?
The biggest event.
Yeah, and you're one of the dancers. You've got to be excited, right?
Yes.
Cool.
How are rehearsals going?
Great.
Are they?
Yes.
Can you give us a sneak preview and just tell us what songs you're dancing to?
Like a song like a Grease Latin.
Yes.
I like to sing You're the one thing I want.
Yep.
I love it.
You love it?
I do. Those are good songs.
And you know, Dan did Dancing with the Arc last year. He might be a little jealous that he wasn't invited back to do it this year. But
it's fun.
Tyler, tell us a little bit about, we should touch on this, all of the great work that Arc of Monroe does.
Talk about the cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
There
is
it
that
is.
your, you've got a car in yours?
In the dance room.
Wow.
Yes.
That's, do you drive the car?
We got this.
Oh, you do a little hip action around the car?
Yes.
Like John Travolta?
Yes.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, Team Dana and Devon have some cool props, so you have to come out tomorrow to see them in action.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. So real quick, let's talk about the Arc of Monroe and how all the money that is raised with this competition will go back and support the efforts there.
Absolutely. So Arc of Monroe, we support people with developmental and intellectual disabilities here in Monroe County. And all of our fundraising efforts this year, the money's going to go to our Aging with Grace, Aging in Place initiative. So a lot of great things, and Dancing with the Arc is one of our biggest fundraisers, and we're really excited.
It's an absolute blast for someone sitting at home who wants to come out and see it and support the great cause and watch the fancy footwork out there. Tell them what they need to know.
Absolutely. So you can visit us, arcmonroe.org/dancing. All the information about the event is on there. You can see all the different duos that are going to be performing tomorrow. You can vote for your duo if you're not able to attend, but you can buy tickets online. You can also buy tickets at the door. 5 o'clock, Innovative Field. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Devon, I'm sure that you've been having a lot of fun. How have you liked working with your partner?
Oh, my partners Devon and Dana.
Yeah.
Together.
It's been fun. It's been a good time.
Yes.
Awesome.
Now, Tyler, are you dancing with someone?
I am not, but I'll tell you what, at rehearsals, you have no choice but to kind of move around because the energy is so high when the duos are dancing. So I've had the opportunity to go to all the rehearsals, and you have a smile on your face the whole time. I think I got like a bottle of ibuprofen to rest my cheeks when I get out of there because it's so fun. But yeah, we have 5 duos, as you see on the screen. They've all been working really hard for the past 2 months, really perfecting their dances, and all the magic comes to life tomorrow.
Devon, what is your favorite part of doing this? What's been the best part so far?
My favorite part, I like to exercise.
Yeah, you like the exercise?
Yes.
How does it make you feel to know when you're up there dancing that so many people are smiling, watching you, and enjoying watching you dance? Does that make you feel good?
Make you feel good.
Yeah?
Yes.
I bet it does.
Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming in today. Break a leg. You're not going to need any luck.
No,
but...
they can't break my leg.
No. Good luck.
Abby.
Good luck. It's going to be good. It's going to be a fun time.
He's pulling your leg.
You hear about my tattoo.
No. We want you to do the best job you can do.
Best job.
The
Yeah,
best job you can do. And we know you're going to do it. Do you know what award you want to win?
I don't know.
You don't know?
You don't know.
It's not about the awards, is it?
The best reward.
Yes, absolutely. Thank
Right.
you again both so much. We really appreciate it. Best of luck out there, my
Thank
friend.
you.
You're going to kick some butt.
Time
Okay.
right now, 8:53. Much more to come this morning on Arc Rochester.
We're back right after this.
Much more to get to this morning on Arc Rochester as we continue into the 9 o'clock hour. Stephanie Joseph will break down some of our top political stories.
She's over at the live desk with a preview of what we can expect at 9. Hey there, Steph.
Hey there, guys. In today's political pulse, President Trump is doubling tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. How he's also putting the country's trading partners on notice as the pause on reciprocal tariffs expires soon. And unlikely pushback from Elon Musk over Trump's big, beautiful bill. Hear the response from the White House. That's all coming up in our 9 o'clock hour. Arc Rochester returns after this.
this June 4th. Thanks for sticking with us on Arc Rochester. I'm Abby Fridman.
I'm Dan Track. That is meteorologist Mark McLean. We'll get a check of his forecast for you in just a couple of minutes. We do, though, want to check in with Stephanie Joseph at the live desk with our Wednesday morning news break.
Here are some of the top local stories that we're following this Wednesday. Rochester police say the search for a 5-year-old boy who fell into the Genesee River is now a recovery effort. J. St. Pierre was walking with his mother on Sunday afternoon when police say he climbed on the railing of the Andrew Street Bridge and fell into the river. Authorities launched an extensive and ongoing search for the boy since then. Now, part of that effort, using a scuba team and working with RG&E to reduce water flow from the Court Street and Mount Morris dams, but visibility remains a challenge. Police are asking boaters, fishermen, and anyone north of downtown to keep an eye out as this search continues. Now, the bridge has become the site of heartbreak, but also hope. Last night, dozens gathering there to stand with the family of J. St. Pierre. And one juvenile is recovering, and an 18-year-old is facing charges after a violent robbery in the city's Edgerton neighborhood. Rochester police say it all started just before 9:30 last night. Investigators say a juvenile was walking near Lake Avenue and Spencer Street when a vehicle pulled up and the occupants forced him inside. The victim was allegedly punched and his phone stolen before being pushed out of the car. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. About 20 minutes later, officers spotted the suspect vehicle near West Main and King Streets. The driver refused to pull over, leading police on a chase that ended on South Plymouth Avenue. During the chase, several officers were minorly injured when 2 RPD cruisers crashed. Investigators say the Kia Forte was reported stolen out of Brighton, though it's unclear if the 18-year-old driver was involved in that theft. Now to a plea from residents in Ontario County to keep a convicted child killer behind bars. Gregory Flint was sentenced to 37.5 years to life for the rape and murder of 8-year-old Stacy Ackerman of Farmington in 1987. With a parole hearing set for next month, Stacy's mother is urging the public to sign a petition asking the board to deny his release. If parole is denied, the Ontario County District Attorney says Flint is eligible every 2 years thereafter. The city of Rochester is looking for builders to help expand homeownership on the northeast side. Officials have issued a request for proposals seeking plans to design, assemble, and install up to 9 new homes on city-owned vacant lots along Wilder, Davis, Lewis, and High Streets. For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thanks. Let's get a check of the forecast now. It is going to be beautiful out there today, and we're also going to get to some weather trivia as well.
We certainly are. Take it away, McLean.
Yeah, some like it hot, right?
Some
They do.
How many hot days? So what is hot? What is hot? I mean, if you picked a number for you, what is hot?
Well, I don't know. What are you defining as hot?
Like
uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable, yeah.
Ooh.
Burdensome.
98.
That's hot.
I would consider it to be
That's sizzling.
too hot.
That's sizzling.
But I love the heat.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I love the heat, but I would say technically, I don't know. I would say 85 is going to be the hot.
Inside or outside? Like inside of the house gets up to a certain threshold and then that's too hot, or like 80 for me. And it's like I'll use air conditioning if the inside of the house gets into the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
sure.
But
okay, I'm on board with that.
Okay. Temps near 90 for some areas, right? Let's talk about it. How many days of 90-degree heat does Rochester get in an average year? Now, obviously, this changes on a year-to-year basis, but your choices were 5 days, 7 days, 9 days, or 12 days a year. How many days a year does the ROC hit that psychological hot threshold?
Ooh,
right?
look at this. We got some responses.
They're all over the board. Julie, Cheryl, Pamela, and Mary said C. Patricia said B, and Janet said A. Abby's got something over there for us. What do we have? 100%
B
okay.
on Instagram.
Instagram. Everyone went.
I am going with A, 5.
5 days? What do you say?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'll jump on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with A.
All right. The answer is actually C.
What?
We actually do get 9 days a year on average.
When?
Yeah, I know it's hard because Well, first of all, it's usually when we're in here. Sometimes we don't feel the peak heat of the day.
fair.
But listen to this. Back in 1953, Rochester experienced 32 days.
What?
That's a full month. Can you imagine a full month? And a lot of places didn't have air conditioning back in the 50s. Can you imagine that?
And the real record that was in December.
Now that would be a problem.
Big problem.
That would be a climate change topic.
True. True.
Yeah, I stay away from that. But let's talk about this right here. This is you're gonna love this. The muddy claw.
Look at this. I love it.
I don't know if they ever get muddy claws, but this bird has come through on Chime In several times. And this is beanies.
Oh my God.
We're eating a bag of peanuts.
We're eating a bag of peanuts. And you said we should put some exotic animals in every now and again. So I figured a muddy claw outlook would be all right.
I like it.
It's fun, right? But today's nice and dry. Nice and dry skies. Tomorrow, for the most part, I think I'm going to leave it as dry, but there is a chance, especially during the afternoon, for a brief shower. Friday, Saturday, the better of the 2 days to see some showers around, and Sunday should be clear skies again for beanies. I don't know if beanies is actually flying through the...
I would
do
imagine
they?
not.
I mean, probably not, right? They're in the cage?
I don't know. Maybe in the
cage?
house.
Don't they like perch up on...
Listen, I lived with someone who had a bird named Gallo, and he flew around all the time. He dive bombed me on the regular.
Okay. I want some Gallo stories on the break. But 72 degrees, southwest at 11. That dew point, that number is going to climb into the 60s for the first time this year. So this is, it's not going to be in a range that's going to be a real concern. But if you're outside, you're working out in the yard this afternoon, just stay hydrated. And just remember sunscreen, sun protection. We'll have that temperature plus relative humidity combo, making it feel like it may be closer to 90 for the first time this season. So it's the first time that we've been exposed to this kind of heat. And this threshold right now, the 56 air quality index, remember yesterday it was like 26 when we were on the air at 9 a.m.? Mm-hmm. So it has climbed from good to moderate. If you have asthma or suffer from respiratory ailment, it's a moderate level. Now, most of the, quote, bad air is still well to our west. This is from those Canadian wildfires up in Canada, back towards Wisconsin, parts of northern Michigan. It's an unhealthy environment, right? I mean, it was like summer of 2 years ago here. We're on the fringes of this. We're in a spot that's much less of a concern for that. But satellite radar has high pressure to our south. That southwest flow continues. That cold front back to our west is going to make a move towards western New York by tomorrow afternoon. So that chance for a shower, clap of thunder does go up by the late afternoon. Especially look at southeast of Rochester there into the Finger Lakes. That's going to be the best chance of seeing a pop-up thunder shower sometime early mid-afternoon. For most of us, I think we're going to escape mainly rain-free tomorrow, and that front is going to bring the temperature down heading towards the weekend. So temps today in the mid and upper 80s, with enough hazy sunshine. Some spots in the Genesee Valley will probably come close to 90 degrees. Tonight back to the mid 60s, and the 7-day forecast for us does have some afternoon chances for showers and thunder tomorrow. Friday, some passing showers, a morning shower chance on Saturday, some sunshine on Sunday, and occasional showers and thunder heading into next Monday.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's summer. Right?
It's summer,
You gotta expect it.
It's pool weather. People are finally, I saw a couple of covers coming off of pools on my walk yesterday. I was like, well, it's good timing.
Yeah.
Probably should have got that ready this weekend if you wanted to be in it tomorrow, right?
This is true. This is true. But listen, you can't blame people because it's always so hit or miss.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You're rolling the dice. You start a little too early, then you put all this time in, and we've got another 6 weeks of winter.
Yeah, it's like an 8-week guarantee, right? It's usually the second week of June through the second week of August for pool weather. I mean, that's when, it's a virtual guarantee. But the 2 weeks that surround that, the first 2 weeks of June, the last 2 weeks of August, you can get some cool nights. You can still have nights in the 40s, and, that chills things pretty well.
Isn't it sad that it's such a small window?
Yeah. 8 weeks.
As soon as we hit summer,
that's what
you're going to start to see the commercials for all the back to school stuff, and it's
Halloween.
Yeah. If you want the guarantee, it's about an 8-week season, right? It is.
But
I know. It's my favorite time of the year.
Right now?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought you were going to say Halloween was your favorite time of the year.
I have to say Halloween.
Yeah.
While I'm on Arc Rochester.
Yeah, you do. Our show, our rules.
I don't want to get hit again.
You hit a guy one time.
It's her.
And he never lets you live in town.
with your car. Yeah.
Oh, it was for the game that Scott and Sandy played. Oh my gosh.
It was fun. It was a fun day.
Hey, stick around. We've got a lot more to come here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we're getting a special look at the upcoming Home and Garden Tour.
Yeah, don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel and on foxrochester.com. We are back after this.
Welcome back, 9/12 this Wednesday. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. So this weekend, the Landmark Society is giving Rochester an inside look at some of the area's most gorgeous homes with the annual House and Garden Tour.
Ticket holders will experience 5 homes showcasing their architecture and style. For more, we're joined now by the Landmark Society's Director of Programs, Amelia Del Vecchio. Good morning, thanks for being here.
Good morning, thank you so much for having me.
This is one of those events that we always look forward to because we know that people are in for quite a show. For those who are unfamiliar, give us a little overview of what exactly this is showcasing.
So we're going to be taking a look at the Park Ave neighborhood this year, which was actually listed in the National Register of Historic Places back in 2020. We all know Park Ave for the beautiful, huge porches, the historic homes, and it's really representative of Rochester's historic character. So we're excited to give everyone a look into some of those homes for the first time since that historic designation.
Do you get a preview? Do you get to go and tour these homes before everyone else?
I do, which is a big part of the fun for me.
So I imagine you already have favorites.
Absolutely.
Tell us about some of the features of your favorite homes.
So one of my favorites, which is on Westminster, has a beautiful Japanese garden with a pond, no koi, but that makes the water even more crystal clear. And it has a beautiful garden room. It's stunning, so.
Okay, here's a question. Do people actually live in these homes?
Yes.
Okay, and so then what do they do with all their personal belongings? Because I'm thinking about my house and I've got like family pictures everywhere.
Your
And
knickknacks.
yeah, and you see the stuff from the pictures and you're like, these are pristine.
Yeah, it really varies based on the homeowner. This year, our houses aren't going to have upstairs open, so I'm thinking maybe the upstairs is where all the mess is going to be hidden.
That's where I'd put mine.
But yeah, there's certain homeowners that keep a little bit more of that personal life on display. You'll be able to see family photos, that kind of thing, and others where it really is spotless.
If I were ever to make this list, it would be like, the dirty dishes are part of the aesthetic.
Right, right.
Exactly. Yep.
Absolutely.
So congratulations, because this is, you were just promoted to this position.
Yes.
Talk about the undertaking. What does this mean for you?
So I actually have been very much a historic architecture nerd since I was young. I first went on the home tour when I was 14 in 2016. And I started out at the Landmark Society this past August as a preservation planner and moved into this role recently. So excited to be working on the events and to showcase a little bit of beautiful Rochester's history.
I don't know if it's just my social media pages, but I'm seeing a lot of people kind of transition away from like the modern styles that we're seeing right now, and they're kind of drifting more toward that historical aesthetic, I guess. What would be your advice for somebody who's thinking, okay, I kind of want to dip my toe in this. I have an old house, I want to start incorporating other historic pieces. How do they go about doing that?
For me, I think a big part of that is finding your own personal design style, working with color rather than that more gray and white aesthetic I think we see in a lot of modern homes, and finding character in your pieces. I do a lot of antique shopping, vintage shopping, and you really find unique stuff at affordable prices that way. So.
Is that a suggestion that you would make for anybody who wants to do that, who wants to style their home in a certain manner, rather than go buy new, go secondhand, because there's often a story that goes along with some of those fantastic older pieces?
Absolutely, and that's the best part of historic preservation overall, I think. It is really sustainability focused, giving things a second life, whether that's a beautiful antique chair or a historic home. And that's part of what the Landmark Society does, is advocating to reinstate for buildings and things with great past use to be recreated in the community, I guess is a good way to put it.
It's very cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the House and Garden Tour. Where does it begin? How do people get started with this?
Yeah, so we're selling tickets online only this year at landmarksociety.org. And then we're going to have headquarters at the Barrington Street School, Francis Parker, number 23 at 170 Barrington. And you can go to check in there and you'll receive an entry pass that you'll take to each home, and they'll check off the homes as you go. So you get to visit each one once over the course of the 2 days. But each house is going to be fully staffed both days, so you can really go at your own pace and take things in.
So it's not, we don't have to go as a group. We can all go individually on our own time during those 2 days.
Exactly. It's very
Now,
flexible.
I want to piggyback on this homeowner question, though, from a couple of minutes ago. Are they spending the night there still?
They are. So it depends on the person. I think we have one house where the homeowner is going to be around. So watch what you say.
Yeah, right?
No, but that's part of the fun for them, getting to see people come into their home and welcome them. But a lot of people are out for the day doing other things, but they also get free passes to the tour, so they can go on the tour themselves as well.
Oh, okay.
That's very cool.
That's enjoyable.
I think that the homes that we're seeing, at least on the screen, are just absolutely beautiful. One is prettier than the next, and the landscaping and the gardens, I'm sure that people are going to go and they're going to get some ideas for their own homes. When it comes to the neighborhood, why is that so important to highlight this area?
I think Park Ave is one of the most popular neighborhoods in Rochester, and for good reason. I mean, it's one of the rare walkable communities. We all know the boutiques, the restaurants, and most of that housing stock comes from the 1800s. So we really get a look into Rochester's past and the middle class development that was coming up as we see the upper class mansions on East Ave. So we get a little vision into Rochester almost 200 years ago.
That's incredible. As we're walking through these homes, because they are private residences, are we allowed to take pictures?
We are not allowed to take pictures.
Not allowed to take
All right, fair enough.
No. So we have to just sketch and memorize
Yeah.
so we can take those ideas with us.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Good to know.
Thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it. Again, for somebody who wants to swing by, give us the website because tickets are only available online. There is no in-person ticketing.
Yes, it's landmarksociety.org. It'll take you right to the homepage, and there's a big slider going across the top that you can click, and it'll take you to the tickets.
Beautiful.
Terrific. And we'll post all of that information and much more on our website after the show this morning, foxrochester.com.
Time right now is 9:20. Stick around when Arc Rochester returns. Stephanie Joseph will break down some of our top political headlines.
Your political pulse coming up next.
It's time for a political pulse check here on Arc Rochester. We begin with an executive order from President Donald Trump doubling tariffs on steel and aluminum imports today. Now that takes the tax up from 25 to now 50%. The executive order says the higher tariffs will be a buffer to foreign countries offloading low-priced excess steel and aluminum in the U.S. Now, there are concerns this could lead to higher prices on products like cars, appliances, or even at the grocery store. The president wants to encourage domestic production of the metals, calling it a matter of national security. Here's what Trump said last Friday when he announced plans to double these tariffs.
We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that.
And speaking of tariffs, Trump is calling countries to send in their best offers for deals by today. The White House confirms a letter was sent to all U.S. trading partners to remind them. Now, this comes ahead of an end to a pause on reciprocal tariffs that's set for next month, July 19th. But experts are questioning if it's possible to lock in trade agreements by then. Now, one example, China. President Trump says the country's president is, quote, extremely hard to make a deal with as tensions have risen between the nations over their own trade pause.
The challenge here is, of course, that it is not easy to just quickly make a trade deal. Trade deals are not only about the tariffs on goods. It's also about non-tariff barriers. It's also services. It's also all kinds of other things.
And as talks continue in Washington over the big, beautiful bill, an unlikely critic is adding his voice to the opposition. Former head of the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk, is speaking out against the bill. Now, in a post on X, he said in part, quote, "This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong." Democratic lawmakers are saying they agree with Elon. It's also causing shock, as Musk has been a staunch supporter of President Trump.
Even Elon Musk, who's been part of the whole process and is Trump's buddy, says the bill is bad. You can imagine how bad this bill is.
The president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
Well, the president wants to sign the bill into law by July 4th, but there are holdouts on the GOP side that could complicate the bill's passage in the Senate. Now, the House had its own difficulty getting the bill through. It came down to one vote. Some Republican senators worry about the elimination of the clean energy tax credit and potential changes to Medicaid. Senator Rand Paul is one lawmaker not throwing his support behind the bill over concerns it could increase the debt. President Trump even taking to Truth Social to publicly call out Senator Paul in multiple posts. Now, one says, quote, "Rand Paul has very little understanding of the BBB, that's big, beautiful bill, especially the tremendous growth that is coming. He loves voting no on everything. He thinks it's good politics, but it's not. The BBB is a big winner." Senator Paul defending himself on Capitol Hill yesterday.
I don't make it personal at all. I like the president, supported the president. In fact, I'm for the tax cuts. I am for a lot of the bill, but I can't in good conscience give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon, and that's that we can't accumulate more debt. $2 trillion in debt this year is too much.
Those senators, it's not news that they disagree with this president on policy, and the president has vocally called them out for it and for their not having their facts together.
And be sure to stay with ARC Rochester for your top political headlines. We're back after this.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. Today, a farm in Genesee County is turning into a bit of a hub of knowledge for children as part of the annual Kinderfarmin event that's taking place today.
Yeah, for many decades, the Genesee County Farm Bureau has put on the event to show kids how dairy products are made. And Chris Lopez is live learning a little something for us this morning. Chris, it looks like the kids are there.
Yes. Got the kids loaded up right now. They're going to take a tour of the farm before they go to one of the 20 stations or all of the 20 stations. We're joined by two special guests. This is Kendallin and this is Cora. You guys are about to hop on that tractor right there and take a tour. Are you guys excited at all?
Not really.
No? Why are you not? Wait, why are you not excited?
Okay, first of all, I'd rather see chicks.
You want to see chickens and not cows? Is that what you said?
Okay, I do want to see baby cows.
Is it because the tractor's big?
Yeah.
Yeah, too big. But it's going to be a smooth ride, though, and you're going to learn a ton there.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. What about you, Cora? You excited about today?
Yeah.
What kind of animal do you want to see today?
Baby chicks.
A baby chick? I'm sure you'll see a baby chick. I know you guys have to get and catch a ride, so high five. Boom. Boom. Good luck today, guys. We'll see you guys later. I hope you guys learn a ton. Yeah. Joined by Natasha Sutherland this morning. She's wrangling up everyone. She is giving speeches, so pulling you aside for just a few minutes.
Just a couple of seconds. Hey, so this is Kinderfarmin. This is an event that's been happening in Genesee County for over 45 years.
And I was going to say, last year we didn't get this. We left a little bit early.
Yeah, so literally doing the tour part is the biggest part of the day. It literally actually makes this Common Core curriculum.
Okay.
So it literally allows us to talk about ecosystems, we talk about nutrition, we talk about the environment, we talk about how the powerhouse that is agriculture feeds all of us, not just the economy, but also the community around us. It's an incredible piece that I get to teach these kids today.
I'm going to quote Lockwood, your son. He said it's better than school.
It is better than school.
Okay, it is better than school. Why do you think it is such? Is it because of the no death by PowerPoints?
Amen. You're literally on farm. You're touching soil. You're touching dirt. You're touching animals. You are interacting with your educational piece. That is what these kids need in our curriculum today. We need to have some way to connect that physicality to the educational piece, and this is fantastic.
What's your favorite part of today? You've been chair for, 7 years, you would say? What's your favorite part? You go to different farms, too, so you can name a few things.
Honestly, the kids.
Yeah.
Watching the kids at the end, the gratitude, the smiles, the excitement, handing someone a cheese stick and watching their face light up because they got a cheese stick. So cool. So exciting to make those connections for those kids. My best story, Chris, is yesterday I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and bought 10 pop-up tents because it's hot today.
Yes.
And it's been really cold, so we were a little worried. It's going to be a little bit much, a big swing, right?
Okay.
The girl at checkout remembered this. She was 21 years old. I asked her. She remembered
Yeah,
that.
I've been hearing this full circle from everyone, mostly everyone I've talked to. They've either been on a farm that hosted it, they participated in it. We have high schoolers over there that were in this and now are at some of those stations. How special is that?
How amazing is that? You know, we know that one of the guys on our board was the first class to do this, and he's like 48 or so. So we know it's been going on for about 45 years. And to know that this whole community has this generational transfer of knowledge of how important agriculture is, it's such a joy.
How long is today for you?
I started at 4:30 this morning, and I'll get done about 4:30 this afternoon. It's
Okay, that's not a bad day.
It's a normal farm day.
12-hour shift, that's not bad.
But it's a normal farm day.
Yep. Long days, long hard work. You get a lot of food out of this. Get to show kids as well where their food comes from. I'm going to let you handle your businesses. Thank you so much for hosting us.
And thank you for coming out today, everybody. I truly appreciate every single volunteer from the bottom of my heart. That is my shout out from today. Thank you to the volunteers.
How many total volunteers?
Approximately 110.
Okay. Filled up today. Kids, volunteers, Kinderfarmin. We're going to be back next year. We'll see Lockwood again. We will see Natasha. I believe it's her last year as chair next year. So it'll be another special episode for you guys. Back to you in studio.
Chris Lopez down on the farm.
Good stuff out there, Chris. Thank you.
Stick around, a lot more to come right here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we're taking a closer look at some of the stories that have people talking this morning.
Yeah, don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. We're back after this.
All right, it's time to see what's trending now. So let's start things out with some airline passengers being asked to stay in their seats or pay a fine.
Wow. Okay. The government of Turkey recently announced via their civil aviation general that travelers can face fines if they stand up, go to the corridor, open the overhead bins, and proceed along the aisles when the aircraft is not yet parked, or the seatbelt lights are still on, or when the landing announcements are still being given.
Ooh, I get this now. Okay, so according to the Director General, they say that this new rule is being introduced to respect other passengers around you. Those who do not adhere to these guidelines will be reported to an administrative fine, and that will be imposed in accordance with the applicable legal regulations.
So the fine is reportedly around $100. The Istanbul airport is one of the best connected airports in the world, which could mean the rule would apply to most commercial flights entering that company.
Okay. So listen, I know there are some people that as soon as we hit the ground and you're still taxiing, the seatbelts are off and like they've got their hands, they're white knuckling it, getting ready to stand up and, you know, be a bolt of lightning to get off that plane as fast as possible when it's not doing you any good.
Yep, still gotta wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stay, like, I'm not going to stand there cramped like this, you know?
Because it's true. That's how it always goes.
Waiting for the plane to stop moving. No, I'm going to stay comfortably in my seat.
And, you know, I've seen people on social media say, you know, oh, well, it's different. What if you have a connecting flight and, you know, you're going to miss it? If there's a significant delay, the airline will usually say those who are running late for, and they'll name the flights that are, like, getting ready to go. They'll, like, make an exception and let those people off first. And then everybody else goes.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like if you are desperately needing to get off the plane because you're going to miss your flight, you could communicate that with the flight attendants.
Absolutely.
Other than that, if the plane is moving, you should not be getting up.
No.
And those flight attendants are so hardworking. Like, just listen to them.
Absolutely. 100%. They deal with far too many people, far too many smells, far too many bare feet. They don't need to deal with you getting up and trying to get off that plane.
What kind of flights are you on?
You've seen it. You know you've seen it.
I have not.
Bare feet?
I haven't really gone too far, though.
Oh, I've seen people in bare feet get up and use the restroom.
Stop.
No shoes.
No.
We have to move on.
Okay.
Uber Eats drivers are spilling the beans, and it might make you a bit mad.
Uber Eats drivers were recently asked to fill out an anonymous questionnaire asking them about some of the unsavory behind-the-scenes behavior that they have committed. And I hate this story already.
Delivery drivers were not shy in revealing their secrets. Here are just a few of the ones that caught some attention. If the seal on a food or packaging is missing or partially open, delivery drivers will sneak a few fries, a breadstick, or even a chicken nugget or two.
Many drivers say they aren't proud of this, but it is just too tempting not to.
Some drivers weren't ashamed at all, saying it's what they call a food tax and that they deserve it as the delivery person.
Drivers also revealed that saying thank you in the instructions goes a long way.
Okay, I do that. Others have admitted to taking a few items from an order for themselves and going back to the restaurant and saying it's missing. That's called theft.
All of this is called theft.
Yes, but then to go back to the business and say, oh, you didn't give me this, that's just stealing.
That's not good.
No.
Others have just taken the food altogether. You know what? That happened to me once.
Where they just took your food
They just took my food.
and charged you?
Yep. No, I reached out to, it wasn't Uber Eats, it was a different company, and they refunded.
They refunded the money?
Yeah, but it was like, they were coming, again, with my Chipotle. Could see them going down the street, and then it was canceled. They went to the store, picked it up, got there and thought, I think I'll just keep
It's
this.
been delivered to the wrong address before, and my comments in the comment section, I don't live there. I'm yelling in all caps. All right, let's move along now to the Netherlands, where it's proof that anything can be described as art.
All right, so fair warning, this story does contain
Yep, it
graphic
does.
erotic art.
It does.
So if you don't want to see it, Ashley's saying change the channel, please.
In the Netherlands, this was on CNN.
Dan told me that we can run this.
Yes,
Okay.
we can run it. The National Museum, a new object is on display that's described as merging art with Amsterdam's infamous red light district. It's a nearly 200-year-old condom with erotic art drawn on it. The piece is believed to have been made around 1830 from a sheep's appendix.
The art depicts both the playful and serious side of sexual health. It is fittingly being displayed in the exhibition called Safe Sex? ? The image on the condom is an erotic image of a nun and 3 clergymen. Oh my goodness. I don't really think that that's...
It is. It is. It's... What's that? Yeah. The phrase, "this is my choice," is written along the sheath in French.
According to the museum, it's a reference to another popular painting which depicts a prince judging a beauty contest between 3 goddesses.
The condom will be on display until the end of November.
I hate you guys so much.
That thing has some stories to tell. Stick around. When we come back, we're taking a closer look at the new season of a hit TV series.
Not this one. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, the A&E channel has the perfect thing for you. An all-new season of Storage Wars. It's returning now for its 16th season, and it is filled with fierce auctions, exciting finds, and even some fan-favorite hunters.
The season also features 10 expanded one-hour episodes. And this morning, we're learning more about the new season. For more, we're joined now by fan-favorite buyer, Brandy Passante. Thank you so much for joining us, Brandy. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so let's dive in. 16 seasons. That is a long time for Storage Wars.
Absolutely. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Have you been on the, forgive me, have you been on the show the entire time?
I have.
What has that
Started
experience,
in 2009.
what has that experience been like for you?
You know, I didn't think that it was going to go anywhere in the very beginning, you know. I mean, who wants to watch that? But then it turned out to be a pretty great show, and people love it. It's in every country, and it's running on a loop all the time.
What is it about the show that you think people love so much? What is it that keeps them coming back for 16 seasons?
I mean, there's that element of competition. There's, you learn about something, the obscure item that you would have never known about. You learn values of things, and I mean, at the end of it, somebody wins. It's a pretty fun show. A lot of entertainment.
Anything outrageous that we can expect this upcoming season?
This season we have hour-long episodes. They brought, Dave Hester's back, so that's fun. And also, we did something a little different in one of the episodes. We went to an estate sale, and I ended up winning big at that one. It was really fun. I hope to go to more estate sales in the future. So
you've been referred to as a fan
different.
favorite. Tell us about some of the really interesting things that you've walked away with.
I found so many unique items over the years. Some that I just kind of didn't realize that they would be worth any money. I mean, I found some, a samurai helmet, and these little bird boxes that were worth quite a bit, and a horse head, that was worth quite a bit of money. It's you really never know what's going to be in there.
Okay, so not only are you a television star, but you're also you're an expert at this kind of stuff. For someone who's sitting at home who, they watch the show and they think to themselves, gosh, in my hometown, I know the municipality has auctions, or I know this storage company sometimes auctions things off, and they want to get started. They want to try and do what you're doing on a smaller scale. Where do they begin? Do you start just with a number limit, like you never go above this amount?
I mean, that would be, my advice would say, you definitely have to have a cap on your money. Otherwise, you can definitely go overboard and get too excited, especially if you have never done it before and you don't have, the background skills, to know that that's not a unit to buy, that you're definitely going to lose money on that. I mean, there's so many elements to learn in order to be successful in this business, and it's not easy. And starting out, there were a lot more fails than I have now, because I do definitely have quite a bit of experience at this point. But it's not as easy as we make it look on TV, for sure.
Oh gosh,
it is a difficult business.
I would imagine so. And you are a buyer, and we talked a little bit about it just a second ago, but I want to touch on it. Tell us about how competitive it gets over the course of a season.
Extremely competitive. I mean, it's a little vulgar, but I call it, these guys are out there peeing on trees, basically showing who's the bigger man,
Yeah.
and so sometimes they definitely overspend greatly, just to, I won, kind of a scenario. But in the end of it, you didn't win. You lost a lot of money because you way overspent. It's kind of silly, but they do that. they do that every single time.
Well, and
I don't know.
Because it's televised and because after the fact you're actually finding out what was in that unit, you know how poorly they did with a particular buy. And it's not necessarily like that for, just the average Joe going out there when you don't find out what was in that storage locker. Are there any telltale signs that this unit's going to be a good one?
I mean, if it's packed, in nice bins or, boxes from a moving company, and everything's kind of, the furniture is wrapped up or, things like that, you can tell, and it's clean, then generally that's, for sure, there's going to be at least some nice items in there. But if it's wrapped in trash bags and, broken boxes from the grocery store and there's just stuff all over the ground, I mean, you can, that's obviously going to be a tail sign that it's probably not going to be very good.
So you don't want to bid on my storage unit is what you're telling me.
Oh, is it a mess?
It was.
Oh, dear.
Brandy, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. For somebody sitting at home and you got to give them the elevator pitch and they've never seen the show, you got to give them the elevator pitch of why to watch this season. What is it?
We have hour-long episodes this season. There's a lot of big competition. We went to an estate sale. It's really, really exciting. We've all got some big wins this season. So, stay tuned.
Very
awesome.
good.
Love it.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And for you at home, if you're interested in watching, we'll put the information for you over on foxrochester.com.
Thanks, Brandy. Hey, stick around. When we come back, it's our final thoughts this Wednesday morning.
We're back on the other side of the break. Time for our final thoughts of the morning here on ARC Rochester. High point of the day.
High point of the day, Lockwood, having that kid back on the show.
Yeah.
A+. And that is second only to the forecast because it's going to be a spectacular day out there.
Yeah, pretty nice day. Pretty nice day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the kind of day you'd want to go into a museum and look at some of the fine pieces of art that you were talking about 15 minutes ago.
All right.
Is this the high point of the day?
I mean, you don't have to go into the museum. You can just watch ARC Rochester, and we'll take you right there. right into the Netherlands
so
to check those.
inappropriate.
Check out those exotic pieces.
Okay.
I don't know what you want me to say to that.
Nobody's got anything. That does it for us here on Arc Rochester. Make sure to wake up with us again tomorrow morning starting at 4:57 over on
13 Wham ABC. You can join Steph and is it John or is it you?
Oh, it's me.
It's Steph and Mark there later today for 13 Wham News at midday.
Bye.
Sorry.